Good morning, America.
And welcome to BBC News, coming at you live from Los Angeles. Today, we're talking about an interesting case, the missing Malaysia flight MH370. This plane has a unique story that today we will be covering for the next 6 minutes. Regarding the missing Malaysia flight, as of the new year, Malaysia has signed a $70 million contract with anyone from the US who can find any remains of this missing flight. So, right now I'm going to give you some brief history of the plane. Flight MH370 was en route from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing, carrying 239 people. This plane had made over 40,000 hours of journeys and had successfully taken off and landed almost 3,000 times, making the airplane quite durable and reliable. On board of this flight, there were many unique personnel, including Chinese calligraphers, construction workers, honeymooners returning from their paradise vacation, and 20 businessmen that all worked for the same company that we will talk about later.
Also on this flight, there was a teenage boy named Noor
Mohammadi.
Mohammadi was on his way to supposedly visit his mother in Germany when he boarded the flight with a stolen passport.
A month before, he had hinted that he was going to be going on a long journey by saying to his Facebook account, "Because of some problems, I will deactivate my account. Friends, seriously, if I've done anything bad to you, forgive me because maybe ... What really happened that night is still unclear, but now the last known communications were en route to Beijing at about 1:19 a.m. The pilot signaled and said, "Good night, MH370," and lost all contact. Then on radar, veered hard to the northeast, southwest, and heading straight towards where Germany lies, which is quite unusual. But it continued on for about another 100 miles before losing all contact and going completely dark at about 2:20 a.m. That's all we know about the whereabouts of this flight today.
And on to Darla with the conspiracies.
Hi, I'm Darla, and I'm here to talk to you about the conspiracies with the MH370 flight and their captain, Chris Goodfellow. Some say he was a good guy, maybe even a good fellow. But these conspiracies say differently. The captain is sitting in his chamber. He depressurizes the air cabin, and all members of the plane die within 30 seconds from lack of oxygen. He then veers off course, westward. Then, finally, he kills himself.
And the plane crashes down to the ocean.
Conspiracy number 2. The captain is sitting in his chamber when he turns around.
Fire! I must take us back to Kuala Lumpur! The captain then crashes to a fiery doom.
Conspiracy number 3. The pilot is sitting in his cabin when all devices on the plane take over and cause the plane to crash and explode.
This next conspiracy is going to take a little explaining. So 2 years before the crash of MH370, Pitbull and Shakira released a song, and in this song, the lyrics go, which refers to this, but how would Pitbull know to relate those lyrics to this song? Many say it's a coincidence, but we have a different stance on it. We're almost to the conclusion of our rundown on MH370, but I would like to express to you my theory, and maybe in the comments you guys can mention your theories of what might have happened. So, as I said before, 20 members of a certain company were aboard this flight. That company was a cloaking company. Cloaking as in invisibility. Those 20 members normally would not ride on the same plane or form of transportation in case it were to go down. But in this unique scenario, they all rode together. My theory is that Flight 68 from Singapore, that was heading from Australia in a path towards Germany, met up with Flight 370 MH. I believe the cloaking members cloaked the plane for a brief amount of time so it could meet up with that Singapore plane and fly right above it in the radial shadow so it was undetectable by radars. Then they landed somewhere off the grid and people from that plane are still all alive, but the world may never know.
And my theory is that MH370 is trapped on a secondary Bermuda Triangle. Directly across from the Bermuda Triangle, we know which would explain the mysterious disappearance and unfound remains. This here ain't no monkey business.
Signing off, BBC News.